We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a late night edition of Vikings Uncensored. We are here, we are live, and we got a lot of shit to talk about tonight. It has been a busy week, not only in Vikings country, but in the NFL in general. A lot of stuff going on that has some sort of an effect on the Vikings, so we'll hit a bunch of this stuff. Two-Tone, good evening. Norsefius, Ant, Josh, Drew, everybody in the chat, welcome to the show. Thank you guys for joining us on a late Thursday evening here.
Norse, you're here on time. All right.
Norse actually made it on time tonight. It's about fucking time you show up, right?
Fucking bum.
Well, I had to, Ant. It's kind of required by law at this point in time. But
speaking of this, I'm so pissed. I have a Thielen jersey, but I haven't wore it in like 2 years, and I have no fucking idea where I put it. I was like, oh, I'm going to wear it tonight. Do you think I could find it? No. But it's somewhere in my house.
To be determined as Lance
Maybe I'll be late to the party next week with it. We'll see.
Hey, we do these late shows just for you, Norse. So come on, you got to just work with us here. Damn it, brother. Anyway, we got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight. Stuff. Yeah, Jerry Jones out of his fucking mind. Yeah, we'll get into that in just a minute here as well.
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about for sure.
But so let's start off with, we'll kind of build it up to the crescendo, and then we'll play with the
crescendo. I like that. Right.
There we go. Some of the minor stuff this week. Disgusting Act. Welcome back, my friend. How you doing?
Salutations.
Yes. One of the first things to fall this week, Terry McLaurin, a guy that had been rumored to be maybe a target for the Vikings, earlier this week signed a 3-year, $96 million extension to stay with the Commies for
good for Terry. Good for him, though, for real. He earned it.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good payday for a coming on 30-year-old wide receiver. So,
and he came into the league. He wasn't that highly touted, but, man, he sure showed his staying power and his worth. So,
yeah, no, I like McLaurin. He's a good receiver. I mean, he deserves to get paid. I mean, like I said, it's a pretty good payday for that.
And he's not known for being a diva either. You know, he just wants to get paid like he deserves. So,
no, not really.
Player.
Yeah,
hell of a player.
Yep. Then a couple other things going on here. Brett Rippon, who got released, was signed by the Cincinnati Bengals as a backup quarterback. So
I'm gonna miss him. I'm gonna miss
what
him.
was your what was your favorite Brett Rippon moment? I guess, yeah, since Josh brought it up here a second ago, we'll throw it back up here again. The A topic of today, anyway.
Oh, we're just gonna hop right into it, huh?
We just as well. We'll talk about the Viking stuff here when we get done with this stuff. The Dallas Cowboys trade edge rusher Micah Parsons to the Scrawny Drunken Cheesers for 2 first-round picks and defensive tackle Kenny Clark. And then after that, the Packers turned around and signed Parsons to a 4-year, $188 million contract, $136 million of which is guaranteed. That is a contract that Kirk Cousins is even impressed with for the size of the money and the.
Everybody's losing their fucking mind over this. About, oh my God, Micah Parsons coming into and I don't give a fuck about Micah Parsons.
No, they act like Micah Parsons is the Terminator crossed with Chuck Norris, crossed with Superman, crossed
Micah Parsons has not had a great year since his rookie season. No, at this point, he's more of a name than anything because of his rookie year.
Right. And I'm not dissing Micah Parsons. He is a very good player. I mean, he is one of the top 7 or 8 edge rushers in the league.
Yes.
Davey OG, good evening.
But the thing is, Rhino, is can the guy stay healthy for an entire season?
Well, that's the thing. He's been hurt. He missed a good part of
it. Unlike Terry McLaurin, he's got a little bit of this going on up here.
Well, yeah, you saw the picture during the preseason game last week. He was sleeping on one of the trainer benches on the sidelines during the game.
That's what I'm saying when I say he's got a little bit of this going on up here.
Yep.
I mean, is that somebody that you really want to invest $130-something million guaranteed into?
Right. Norris, I agree with this 100%. Them losing Kenny Clark in the middle, I believe, is going to be a bigger loss than Micah Parsons is a gain out on the outside. Now, granted,
100% agree with you, Rhino. 100% agree with you.
Yep. Two-toned, especially for $47 million. Right, we have the combination of Jonathan Gennard and Andrew Van Ginkel for about, I think it's like just under $30 million this year, something like that.
I mean, and they got a couple good edge rushers in Rashawn Gary and now Micah Parsons, but they got Tom, Dick, and Harry playing cornerback for him out there on the outside.
Right.
So,
yeah, I mean, they don't have Jair Alexander anymore. Valentine is gone.
Wide receivers starting out at corner right now for them in fucking Wisconsin. So,
yeah. Plus, we've got Dallas Turner. Yeah, I would still take our edge rushing group over Green Bay's 12 times out of 10.
And in my opinion, this is the move for right now. And the future is going to be it's going to be a dumpster fire over there.
Oh, it's absolutely. If it doesn't pan out and Green Bay doesn't make the Super Bowl this year or maybe next year on this, they're fucked as far as their salary cap.
I don't know why everybody's so high on the Packers. What have they shown at all?
Because it's the Packers and they do that every year since about 1995. The Packers are a preseason Super Bowl favorite every goddamn year. I mean, yes, they had Favre. Yes, they had Rodgers. As great as both of those guys were, they've only won 2 Super Bowls out of that 30-year span.
Great comment.
And Jordan Love ain't either. Jordan Love is not either one of them.
This is a great comment right here, Davey. I like that.
Yep, I agree. You can scheme Micah Parsons. It's not like people are running around with
is can this dude stay on the field and can this guy keep a level head throughout an entire 17-game season?
Yeah, this is exactly right, Disgusting Act here. They don't have cap space or first-round picks.
That's what I'm saying. Thank you. I love you commenters because you guys are usually on the same page.
Yep. Jarrah thinks he's bigger than the star. Jerry Jones is a nutcase, but, In this instance,
Jerry Jones is the new Al Davis.
yeah, no, he absolutely is. But in this instance, I'm not necessarily
Swede.
don't disagree with what Jerry Jones did here. He got a very good
Another
interior
good
defensive
comment.
tackle.
Another good comment by Swede. Yeah, continue, Rhino. I'm just popping this up here.
Yep. He got a very good interior defensive tackle and 2 first-round picks along with that to
Another
get.
God, you guys are just coming out of the woodwork with these great comments tonight.
Yeah, Gary, exactly. The Packers are not one player away from a Super Bowl. They were one fluke play away from being 0-6 against the division last year. Absolutely, Drew.
These guys were, I mean, I can't say much being a Vikings fan, but they were one and done in the playoffs last year, and they just squeaked in last year. Like I said, what shows you from last year, halfway through this, our last year's season, into this off season, into this new season, that makes you believe that Green Bay is anything close to being a Super Bowl contender?
Yeah. Other than they believe the hype.
Jordan Love still has not proved his worth to anybody.
No, Jordan Love is not a $55 million quarterback. And they don't, yeah, and they've got a bunch of number 2s and 3s running out there at wide receiver. Golden, everybody's going around anointing Golden as the next fucking Randy Moss already.
Right.
It just drives me nuts every year. It's just like Chicago wins the offseason every year. They've been the paper offseason champions for like 6 years fucking running. And then you roll into Green Bay going to be the preseason Super Bowl champions for 35 years running. And then everybody's riding Detroit's jock, and I'm not even convinced Detroit's going to make the playoffs this year. I think they are going to.
The loss of Johnson and
Glenn are going.
Glenn is a huge thing for Detroit.
It is going. They are going to be exposing Dan Campbell for the fucking meat-headed doofus that he is. Yeah, you're not wrong.
You look at our roster and our GM and how we run things around here and all the superstars that we have on this team, and then you turn around and you look at the way that Green Bay's running things right now, it's a night and day type of fucking deal.
Mm-hmm.
So, just a list that a disgusting act just ran off there. I mean, we got all those guys on the contract for the next few years.
Yep.
So, outside of Harrison Smith and Thielen now being on the one last dance here, I'm thinking, but
I'm not sure that Thielen's on the last dance. Listening to his press conference today, he basically.
I got to go back and listen to that yet. I haven't had a chance.
I just listened to clips of it. I didn't listen to the entire thing, but it's like he basically said, "Yeah, I learned a lot when I was gone, and the grass isn't always it was the grass isn't always greener kind of stuff." And yeah, exactly, Drew.
Exactly. Yes. I am not afraid of Micah Parsons.
No, I'm not. I'm really not either.
Until proven wrong. So,
yeah, two-toned. We'll talk. That's a good transition. We'll get away from the Packers right now because fuck the Packers and we don't care. But let's roll into some of the Vikings news from this weekend. There is a ton of it. We can start with Harrison Smith since Two-Tone brought it up. It did come out today that the team said Harrison Smith is recovering from some sort of a personal injury issue or personal medical issue. So we don't know what that is yet. They're saying he's week to week, but the way it's sounding, it might be questionable as to whether or not Harrison Smith is ready to play.
That makes me wonder what this personal medical issue is. Is it an injury? Is he sick?
I don't want to speculate because I don't know.
Exactly.
But if it was an injury,
we don't speculate around here. We just go with the facts.
But if it was an injury, I would think that they would have said, that he tweaked something or did, something. Right. So I'm wondering if it was some other sort of I don't know if he had the vid or if he had, again, I don't want to speculate, but some sort of a medical that he's recovering from, and they're saying he's week to week. So whatever it was significant enough to knock him off. He said it's been almost a month since he practiced. So
not that he needs the practice, but it's nice to knock off some of the rust, get those joints moving again, and your fluidity in your hips and all that.
It's not mental health. I saw, or somebody asked that question to, was either Kevin Seifert or Ben Gessling or somebody today, and they said no, that's not.
There's a good safety out there too, with Simmons. Wouldn't be a bad idea to take a
Isaiah
look at.
Simmons, yeah. Now they did sign a safety to the practice squad today. Kevon Wallace played for Tennessee, so we got a good look at him during those last week when we played them. So I'm guessing he'll be called up for the first game, especially if Harrison can't go. But now he's not bowing out, Norse. It's not a. I'm having second thoughts about coming back and playing this
No,
year.
no, no. I don't
It's
believe
a
that's it at
medical of
all.
some sort. It's not a do I want to do this or not kind of thing. From everything I've
Right.
been told, anyway. But anyway, yeah, we're going to keep track on that and see what happens. And when we hear something, we'll let you guys know. But a couple other ones, of course. The first big news to roll out this week: Vikings traded Sam Howell to the Philadelphia Eagles,
Thank God.
and then
Thank God.
turned around and signed Carson Wentz as
I,
the backup.
I like it. I like it. And I also like the fact that we got more of a return than what we gave up for Howell as well, which is,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how the fuck Kwesi managed to do that after what we've seen throughout the offseason and then into the preseason. How he was able to get any value whatsoever out of Sam Howell was beyond me.
Yeah, because we got a 5, and was it a 5 and a 7 or something like that for
Something
him, or
like that.
something?
Something along those lines, yes.
Isaiah Simmons is more of a hybrid linebacker. Yeah, that's true.
More of a, like a Metellus type. Well, there's
Yeah,
nobody like Metellus, but yeah.
no,
Oh, well, that's speculation there, Swede, but yeah, that's possible as well.
yeah. So, but anyway, yeah. So
Good
Kayvon
evening, Swede.
Wallace signed earlier today. Yeah, Carson Wentz. Now he's a guy that was in this system. He played back up to Stafford for a year with the Rams. So
I'm okay
kind of
with
know.
Wentz coming in, but then this is it for me right now. Where does the roster or where does the depth chart sit at for you with the quarterback? In your
It's
opinion,
Wentz, I think, is QB2. Well, it all depends. If God forbid something
how fast
happens
can Wentz
and
grasp the fucking offensive system? Is my question because Brosmer's light years ahead of him right now.
yeah, but to the point, that was part of the reason why they brought Wentz in, is because he's familiar with the McVay
McVay,
system anyway.
yeah, Shanahan type of system, yeah.
Right. So
I do too, Drew. I like the Wentz signing. I
I
really
do I
do.
do too. I wanted Wentz as the backup, back before the draft, when we ended up trading for Howell, and they asked Wentz about, why he wasn't signed with anything, and he didn't want to get into it, but my thought on the situation is he was holding out for a good situation. I'm guessing
Well,
he
he's
probably
in one of
had,
the best situations in the league right now you can be in with the
yep,
talent that we have on this
and
team. So.
and there was always an opportunity maybe that he was going to get a starting job someplace, if somebody went down or whatnot. But being able to come here on this stacked of a team, he grew up as a Vikings fan, so it's kind of an Adam Thielen light kind of thing. Finally getting to come and play for his childhood favorite team. Local kid from Bismarck, played NDSU,
Right,
all that yada 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 stuff. So, um, Tim Jones is down to the practice squad now, and
right.
they released him to make room for this guy. Of course, the big news for the Vikings this week is the return of Adam Thielen to the Vikings roster. Obviously, with Jordan Addison out for the first 3 weeks, Jalen Naylor dealing with his hand, which we still don't know if he's going to be ready to
And that
play.
comes back to what Anthony just asked up here a minute ago. I think, I think, uh, we should bring in at least one more receiver and take a look at it. And it doesn't have to be a big name. It could be, somebody that could put up some stats for you, at least from a wide receiver 3 standpoint. I'm not sold on Naylor. I don't know how much I would like to have him at receiver 3 right now. If we can get an upgrade there, I would be happy about that. So
Yeah, I mean, and there was it came out right after the Thielen signing that when Kendrick Bourne apparently was going to be the Vikings' backup plan because they said there was a trade in place, and then it didn't materialize. So then he asked for his release. So he's out there. I mean, the Vikings could inevitably sign Bourne and bring him in here, and I honestly would feel better about Kendrick Bourne than I do about Jalen Naylor. All those drops Naylor was having before he got hurt in the preseason.
I know. He's
Concerning.
just not consistent. That's just it with me on Naylor. Is you need that consistency out of your receiver.
Yeah.
This is a little comment I got from.
I'm going to put this one up here though. Davey, I'm not concerned with JJ's durability. He got hurt last year. It happens.
It was a fluke thing with JJ because he's not.
Yep.
JJ talking about McCarthy or not with the other JJ on the team.
Right.
But I mean, he's not known to have issues with injuries. He's been pretty injury free up until the meniscus tear, which everybody lost their shit over. When it wasn't an ACL tear or an MCL tear, it was his meniscus, which is one of the more minor knee injuries that you can.
Right, and it was a partial tear that they decided to go in and do a full surgery on,
which was a smart thing to do
for his long-term health and durability. And then they came, second surgery. No, it wasn't a second surgery. He went in and got an injection because when he started his rehab, he was overdoing it and it got inflamed. So they had to go in and give him an injection to take the inflammation down.
According to Ant, we're not interested in Kendrick Bourne anymore, I guess. I don't understand that thought process, but how can you go from being interested in him for a trade and then not being interested
not wanting him when he's available for nothing?
Right.
Yeah, I don't know.
That doesn't make sense to me. So yeah, the Naylor era needs to end ASAP. I agree. That'd be great. I would love that, Drew. I would love that.
And it wouldn't surprise me one bit either.
And I love the fact that him and JJ McCarthy have a Rappaport throughout the last 2 off seasons throwing the ball together.
Is that Ian Rappaport?
There as well. Or Rapport. Not Rappaport, excuse me, but Rapport, I should say. My enunciation's off sometimes. Despite my vernacular.
Right. So I mean, that is that's a definite plus though. It is the fact that that the two of them have worked out the last 2 off seasons. He worked with them last year too. So, it's not like he's just gonna hi, I'm Adam Thielen, throw me the ball. It's like hey buddy,
Addison back. What a hell of a 3-headed monster there at receiver.
Yeah.
So
and that's when you think about this. Okay, in week 4, once we go to over to Dublin, at some point in time, we are going to have Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, Adam Thielen, TJ Hawkinson, and Aaron Jones all in the field
at receivers
at one time as weapons for JJ McCarthy.
And that's not even added in Jordan Mason on the side. So not much known for his pass catching ability, but I don't think he's barely been
but he can catch the ball. He did a lot of it in preseason and camp and stuff, so that he can do that as well. So
I don't even know if he hits double-digit interceptions. He takes care of the ball pretty well. So
he might his rookie year just because learning that whole what you can and can't get away with in the NFL versus college, but even if he does, as long as
I'm going to go over on the 30 touchdown thing. I think he goes over 30 touchdowns passing.
Yeah, I would say around 4,000 yards, 30-ish or 28 to 30 touchdowns, 10 to 12 interceptions somewhere in there is probably a very feasible number. But anyway, let's keep rolling here. We got a bunch of stuff yet to talk about. A couple other things, of course. We traded Mekhi Blackmon to the Indianapolis Colts, which was kind of interesting.
I told you last year, man, that missing the second year of development is huge, especially at the position that he plays.
Well, and
It'd
you
be
know there
different if
was
he
a
was 6 years in and then got injured. That's a little bit different. But when
yeah.
you're just learning and developing that second year, like I said, especially at that defensive back position that he plays, it's got to be difficult to come back your third year and still be ready to go. So
Well, yeah, and that's just it. And he didn't make that step in training camp like they expect him to. And when
100% true. There's a move coming here with that. There's definitely a move coming in that quarterback room. You
I
can't
would
go into the
think
fucking week one with 4 corners listed on your depth chart.
no.
Granted, there is some flexibility there with Taviar Thomas and Metellus can play big nickel, as well.
Right.
But
I'm sure they'll run a lot of big nickel, but
you gotta go into this week one with at least 5 fucking corners listed on your depth chart. I
you would
believe
think so. I mean, they can pull. They did bring the island of Dr. Moreau back. He's on the practice squad,
Yeah, yep, Fabian.
so they can call him up as the fifth guy probably for for the game week. But um,
And he's got some starter experience too.
he
He's
does.
your average NFL cornerback. He's nothing great, but he's not the worst guy to have out there. You don't want him starting week in and week out, but
No. Now
well,
here's a name that I'm going to throw out there that got released by the Seattle Sea Chickens today. Our old buddy Shaq Griffin is available.
that'd be somebody I'd be okay with. He
I,
played very well. He played very
I
well
thought
for us
Shaq
last
Griffin was
season.
very underrated last year, and you pull
Yes.
him in here as your cornerback 4.
Yeah. Or even 5. I think Nudie has taken that next step. I believe in McLaughlin. So,
Yeah,
and he's a playmaker.
Yeah, Mike Hilton is out there too. Yeah, Ant. Now Mike Hilton is more of a slot corner than he doesn't play outside a ton. He can, but I think he's better suited in the slot. So, and you've already got right now.
Oh,
You've got
Davey. You're gonna see more of Jalen Redmond this year. He's gonna be taking over Harrison Phillips' spot. I look for him to have a huge season coming
yeah.
out.
I would think on rundowns that Jalen Redmond's probably going to be your guy in the middle. Now, when it gets to passing downs, Ingram Dawkins proved that he belongs here, and he had been running with the ones for a good part of camp. So
I like the youth there along the defensive line.
mhm. Griffin before Gilmore, yeah, I would absolutely as well.
Yep, I
Norris
would too.
went harder for DJ Reed. Yeah, DJ Reed would have been a good get, but
Douglas is still out there too as well.
Rasul Douglas, yeah. Now, some of the stuff we as fans throw these names out here because we know who they are and stuff like that. But we got to take and listen to the fact, does Flores think that they can play in his system? That's the biggest thing. Because not every player can fit in every system. We know that. So
That's just it. Yeah.
yeah, LDR, I think, yeah, he's going to rotate in there too as well.
All 3 of these young guys in Redmond and LDR, and then you got Elijah Williams. The dude, I love a player like Elijah Williams that has to, and Adam Thielen is the same type of story there, where you have to really work your way onto the roster, and then as a rookie as well.
It's not just a 2-Utes, it's a 3-Utes.
The Tri-Utes.
Yeah.
But no, I love me an Elijah Williams story because he's hungry too, and this the way he had to work to get onto the squad. He's a Durante Jones mentioned is why he's really here. He's from the University of Maine, so Durante Jones really pounded the table to get Williams in here, and he proved Jones right by making the 53-man roster. So,
Guys in FS1 are saying the Vikings have the scariest defense. We've been talking about that for the last several weeks. This will, barring unforeseen catastrophic injuries and whatnot, this will be a top 5 defense this year.
Now it all comes down to the all phases of the game complementing each other with this team. Can they all put it all together? Is what it is. So
Rasul Douglas signed with the Dolphins.
Okay.
Okay, so he's off the board then, but yeah, I mean, the biggest thing, too this year, if we can get constant pressure with our base pass rush, we don't have to blitz as much as we normally did. And I mean, just because we don't have to doesn't mean we're not going to, because that's Flores' bread and butter is blitzing. But
And I know we talked about this prior to going on the show throughout the week. The two areas of concern for me that are left on the Vikings team from a roster standpoint, somebody's getting tired. So
it's been a long week.
are the defensive backs, as quarterback specifically, and wide receiver. In my opinion, those are the only two concerns I have on this 53 man roster. And I mean, maybe with what we got is enough to get us to where we want to go, but that is yet to be seen. So that's a very good point there.
Yeah. Yeah, their team is ass, and their head coach deals drugs during the off season or whatever. The way he looked, he's got that whole Crockett and Tubbs Miami Vice look going down there. But anyway, was there any other regular news?
I mean, we have on paper, we have a top 5 offense and a top 5 defense going into this season. In my opinion,
Yeah, and I mean,
barring any health concerns.
Right. And that's what, everybody's saying that JJ McCarthy is the question mark on offense, which, to be fair, he is, because we all believe he's going to be good, but we don't know that for a fact. Great front seven. Yeah, this is absolutely right, Davey.
Davey all over it tonight.
Yeah.
Coming in with some good ones.
But, even if McCarthy is an average quarterback this year, this team has the firepower to make a playoff run.
Well, even if he's an average quarterback coming in with his first year, the scary thing is that he's only going to get better as the years go on.
The kid's he's still 22 years old. He's not 23 yet.
Right. I mean,
he's still he missed his rookie year, and he's still going to be the youngest starting quarterback in the league this year.
I think McCarthy's going to be the face of the league sooner than later, so we'll see.
Yeah,
that's just me. I've been all over McCarthy's nuts since before the draft his draft year. So I believe in McCarthy, and McCarthy I trust. So
yeah, I do too. I mean, it's
and all the little things that you hear from his teammates about how he prepares, how he looks at the game, and all that. They are just saying these things to butter him up or put him on a pedestal. I truly believe.
Unless you ask Diana Rossini, then they're propping him up.
No, but the way he's preparing and the way he goes about business, it's all adding up to something that's going to be great for us as an organization.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
Oh, you can't forget Mahomes there, Ant.
Yeah, Steven, we talked about that a little bit earlier, and I don't think it's going to make the difference that Green Bay is hoping that it is.
What the fuck does that even mean, Norse?
Yeah. I mean, well, you know that as well as anybody, Drew. I mean, that maturity he had even in college when he was playing for Michigan, the whole helping with recruiting thing. And if you're expecting to come here and party and chase women and all that other stuff, go someplace else. We're here to win championships. And I mean,
that's just the thing. When you got the leader of the guy of your team with a mentality like that, Kirk Cousins never had that mentality. It was always about the money.
No.
With Kirk. But when you got somebody in here that demands greatness out of everybody else on the roster, that's huge from the quarterback position. So
Exactly. But anyway, Rashee Rice, we forgot about that. He got his suspension handed down to him. They were talking before that it was going to be 3 games, and he wasn't going to get it till like week 4. Then all of a sudden,
they dealt it out to him before the season started.
Yeah, it came out yesterday, and it ends up being 6 games. Sounded like the league wanted to actually suspend him longer than that, but they negotiated and got it down to 6 or whatever it was. So, that'll affect it will affect Kansas City a little bit this, the first 6 games of the year anyway. But anyway, let's
It's
roll
almost
into.
here, Rhino. Week 1 is almost here. I
I
can't
know, I
fucking
know.
wait, man. And to
Right.
start it off
So,
on a Monday night, even better. In
yep.
front of the national fucking media and in front of a American worldwide audience. I
Welcome
can't
to
wait.
welcome to the NFL. JJ McCarthy as he goes out
And
and throws for 275 yards and 3 touchdowns.
truly
And
believe that Kevin O'Connell is just chomping at the bit to unleash this offense on the NFL. I
oh, I
believe they just with the way they've talked to the media this offseason to not really divulge a lot of information that's going on in practice. I think they're about to stun the world when it comes to JJ McCarthy and unleash him on the league. So
yep. And we're going to find out sooner rather than later here. So
what is it? 10 days away? Something like that?
yeah, it's a Thursday, no Friday. So yeah, 10 days. Actually, like 11 days if you count today, but today is just about over. So 10 days. Um, anyway, let's kind of move on here a little bit. Looking at the roster cuts, a few big surprises, some not so much. Brett Rippon, of course, let go. Trey Stewart, the running back.
Couple of
Uh,
huge surprises, in my opinion, as well.
yep.
On the cuts.
Recently signed Xavier Valade, or as we affectionately call him here on this show, Scrabble. He was like,
Boom. Steven. Great comment.
yeah, you got that? Yeah, that's true. Um, okay, yeah, let's just roll into that, Lance. I don't want to go through the whole 50 people that got let go.
Just the
Uh,
surprises.
yeah, the
The
who
biggest
what
surprise in the
surprised you the
room is
most?
Gabriel Murphy right off the bat.
Yeah,
Just a what? What?
that one did surprise me because I mean, and it kind of surprised everybody because listening to the guys, the beat writers and stuff that were at all the practices and
Well,
stuff.
that and the fact they held him out of the third preseason game makes you believe that he's a lock.
Right. Um,
What happened there? What happened there with Murphy in the organ? I mean, granted he's back in the practice squad, but what happened there?
the two things I heard is that A, they really like Chaz Chambliss, and B, Murphy's not much of a special teams guy, whereas Bo Richter and Chambliss both are.
Is maybe Chambliss is more of a complete player at the position than Murphy is more of a pass rusher specialist than anything
I
else?
think that might be some of it. Because I mean, when you look at Gabe Murphy in those preseason games. I mean, he that one game I forget which one it was, but
The first one he had 2 sacks in, and then the
right,
second one he had a 1.5.
yeah. So I mean,
So
he freaking
is he
lit it
more of
up
just
and
a pass rush specialist, whereas a Chambliss is kind of all around player, you know?
yeah,
So
and I think that from what I understand, the special teams stuff made the difference.
yeah.
Now, I mean, we were all freaking out. We figured Murphy was going to get picked up and be gone. Yeah, and that's exactly what I've been hearing, Norris, is that's the reason why. Now, Gabe Murphy's back, and he'll get his call ups during the season, and at some point in time, he'll be on the active roster. I'm sure of it. But
I agree. I was
you
a
know,
little stunned though that he was released. I mean, that
yeah,
really caught me.
and I'm going to be honest. I was worried that he was going to sign someplace else. I thought that maybe he would have signed with Green Bay or Chicago, but Green Bay, that was before we knew that they had this whole Micah Parsons deal in the works.
Maybe they think he needs another year of development, and why not, pop him on the practice squad? But then that leaves him that leaves him vulnerable to anybody that wants to pick him up and send him to their 53. So we'll see.
Yeah,
I loved the fact that we kept Austin Keys. He had a good preseason in my book. I like him over King actually. So we'll see what
yeah, and we
happens there.
kept them
I
both.
like Keys. I like Keys. He's
Yeah,
stellar. He
he
made some
played.
good plays throughout the preseason. And like I said, I think he's probably the number 4 inside linebacker over King. I think King is is the last guy that you pop in. I think Keys gets the keys before Kobe King does. No pun intended. So
No, there was a pun intended there. There was absolutely a pun intended there.
There was.
Yeah. Yeah, and you just
Exactly, two-toned. We are 10 days away from Monday night.
Waiting 2 weeks for Monday night or whatever, or however that goes. Yeah, Ant, I know you're butthurt that Murphy ended up getting on the practice squad and they kept Chambliss, but there is a reason why these coaches have earned the right for us to trust their judgment on this stuff.
A great statement there, Rhino. Yes.
Yeah, and that's exactly right, Norris. Chambliss is a very good player. I'm not good, knocking him whatsoever. I was just kind of surprised that, because he was on the PUP list to start out camp, and I thought it kind of put him behind a little bit. I figured he would be a guy that would go to the practice squad, and Murphy would have been on the 53. But there again, when you come down to needing guys for special teams, that's what made the difference, apparently.
Just a random thought before I forget out here, but I wouldn't be against bringing KJ Osborne back either, or at receiver. Just to have him on. I'd take Osborne over Naylor, honestly, at this point.
Yeah, I mean, Osborne knows the system, and you could put him right in there.
He's a plug and play guy. Yeah, you could plug him right in there, and you'd be good to go.
I mean, now after he left here, he really didn't do shit last year with New England, and then he got released, from Washington. But he's a guy that if you needed somebody that you had to throw in there right away, you could.
I'd take him over Naylor. That's just me, though.
Yeah.
But anyways, continuing on.
Yeah, so I mean, looking at some of the other ones, like we talked about, Ben Urasek ends up getting kept as tight end 3. I thought
Nesbitt was pushing him.
Yeah, and I thought maybe
back on the practice squad though. We were able to sign him to the practice squad though, so I like that.
And Nick Vanette also went to the practice squad, so he was a guy I thought that they might consider keeping on the 53 just for the veteran presence there, but he's back on the squad anyway. Trying to look at Samaya Vaughn, I thought had a very good chance of making the 53.
Well, he had a really bad
play on that, and I forgot to bring this up when we were talking about Blackman earlier too, but there was a play later on in the game last week when Blackman was out there, and he did the same thing that he did against the Bengals a couple of years ago with that Tyler Boyd touchdown.
It's T. Higgins,
sorry. Just freaking – the play was out in front of him, but he was at a point where he could have run it down, and he just stopped. Pulled up and just kind of trotted behind it.
It's a good question that Davey throw. Davey, you're on top of it tonight with some great questions. I think if it wasn't for the holding situation, I think Chapman takes the job. But I think Chapman lost. But now lost the job with that bad hold. In that game,
they didn't even. I figured they'd keep Chapman on as the international player. They didn't even do that. They brought in.
But to be fair, Wright had a pretty decent preseason. He landed some punts inside the 20, which is big as a punter. And if you're a stellar holder, then I mean, do you really mess with that? I don't know.
Yeah.
But if he goes and he stinks it up, I wouldn't be against looking at somebody else from the outside either. But that holding, you don't want. I think I'm concerned with Reichard. I think he gets a case of the yips. I think he misses one, and then he gets a case of the yips.
Yeah,
but he was able to come back.
To be fair with Reichard, though, he did have those 2 misses. The one was from 63.
Yeah,
it could have hit it, but he didn't. I mean,
and he's still young. You got to have some patience with these young field goals.
And if it's over 60, that I'm not going to be too worried about it. And the second one that he missed, was that bad hold by Chapman. So that, but after that, when Wright came back in, then he was boom automatic again. So
yes. I just hope he doesn't get a case of the yips through the season because
because he did
I
have
mean,
that a little bit last year after he came back from his injury.
but he is still very young at the field goal kicking position as well. So he's not a
Yep.
vet yet by any means.
No. And speaking of, Miles Price won himself a roster spot with his kick return stuff he did in the preseason games.
Which then also allows him the ability to get popped in on there and some plays here and there on offense as well. So, I
Yeah.
mean, just by winning the roster spot for the kick return or the punt returning position allows him the ability to get in there every once in a while on offense and really develop at the receiver position as well.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a good chance he probably returns kicks and punts, but
Right.
yeah, one of the surprises, I guess, was
I don't know why we kept Ty Chandler. I don't know if that's what you're getting at here now or
yeah,
what.
that's where I was going with right now. I think the reason why they kept him was because they had to put CJ Ham on the short-term IR, so he has to miss the first 4
I think
games.
eventually he will not be on the roster. Ty Chandler won't be, but
No,
we'll
I know
see. Maybe
the way it
wasn't there
sounded.
some talk about wanting to trade Ty Chandler? Maybe we kept him on the roster for that.
They were
fact.
trying to trade him, but nothing really came out of that. And then I guess they decided that CJ Ham, whatever his injury is, wasn't going to be ready. Then they decided to keep all 4 of them for now. But Scott's going to be your RB3.
Yes, he is your RB3. I think Chandler. The only way he sees the field is if they're going to keep him at kick return. Other than that, I just don't see it. I don't see it. So
no, I don't either. He can't be block. He can't block. That's the biggest knock, and that's how he fell out of favor with the team is because he's not very good at pass blocking.
Scott truly outperformed him throughout the offseason activities and through the preseason games.
He did. Yeah.
So,
Scott looked good. I mean, I'll argue Scrabble.
He's young and he's still going to get better as well with more touches.
Right.
So
I'm going to argue that Scrabble looked better than Ty Chandler did.
Yeah. And he had only been here for a week or two.
Right. Yeah. But he broke off a couple of decent runs.
Speaking of draft picks, we are loaded next year for draft picks.
We're sitting at 11 picks right now?
Yes.
And so I'm just going to fall back on the draft pick thing really quick just because you brought it up and I want to make a point here. You're seeing a lot of people out there losing their shit about what we traded for Adam Thielen, which basically turned out to be a pick swap. And
it's a pick swap, yes.
But, those are the same people who continuously bitch about how shitty of a drafter Kwesi is.
Yeah.
You can't give up all those draft picks because they can get good players like that. Oh, he can't draft fucking players no matter what. The freaking Lone Wolf. Good evening. Yeah, we were just kind of talking about that. But yeah, these you got ESAT Nation still out there alive and well, and it's I got people that are already out there, Mr. Doom and Gloom. The season's gonna suck, and this and that. Yeah, inevitably the Vikings break our hearts. They've been breaking our hearts every year since 1961. For those of us who've been around that long, but why go in, if you're going to go into the season with the attitude of, oh my God, this is going to be fucking terrible? Then why?
I don't want to hear that shit.
No, I don't either. I don't either. I mean, there's something for being realistic. I mean, we don't try to blow smoke up everybody's asses and say, if this was a 5-win team, I'm not gonna go out there and say it's a 12-win team.
Right.
But I fully believe this is a 11 to 12-win team.
There's still 17 games to be played in my eyes. So
exactly. Some of the surprise keeps we talked about a couple guys earlier. Chaz Chambliss, Miles Price, Austin Keys, Bo Richter. Joe Huber, the guy that I called out here 2 weeks ago as somebody who was going to push to make the 53-man roster, made the 53-man roster.
I think Schooley's still on that bubble. I think he's one of those guys that if we bring somebody in, he's one of the guys that could get cut.
Yeah, I think so, especially if Darisaw looks to be healthy.
They're extremely high on Rouse and where he's at in his development right now, too.
Yep. And but yeah, Joe Huber was consistently one of the top ranked offensive linemen with on
And you know
PFF
what?
anyway, the entire
These these
preseason.
these backup offensive linemen played against some starters for the last 2 preseason games, and they held up pretty damn well, Rhino.
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
So,
Tennessee trotted Cam Ward out there and the starters for a good quarter.
and we looked our backup linemen looked decent against starting material.
Yeah,
So, I love Price for the price. Nice little pun there, Lone
yeah,
Wolf.
that's a good one. Ryan, good evening. Better late than never,
You're
bud.
not letting Brandel go, and I'm sorry, but you're just not.
You're not just going to let him go. You could trade Brandel.
He is a viable swing guard, in my opinion, as a backup. You ain't
Well,
You ain't
and
starting
the
him out
thing
there
of it is,
start, but he can get it done for you for a week or two if you need to be.
right. And that would be the thing. Or do you think, on a short term, could you kick Brandel back out to tackle again and School becomes the disposable one?
Well,
I
I
mean,
mean,
it's
it wouldn't
hard.
be any worse than Rashad Hill or Oli Udo out there. So,
Well, that's true. But a couple other ones. Ben Urasek, like when we said that early on, that he was going to be a guy that was probably going to make the roster. Gavin Bartholomew is done for the year. He's on IR with his
I
back
agree,
injury.
Norris. I believe Chandler will be the next cut if anybody
Yep.
goes. Or Schooley, like I said, I don't look for Schooley to make the. I don't look for him to be around for too long.
Yeah. Of course, other ones, to nobody's surprise, Max Brosmer makes the 53-man roster. And
Huber over Brandel in the long run, yes, but not right now. Huber's a
no,
fucking rookie, undrafted rookie free agent coming in right now. I mean, and a lot of these undrafted rookie free agents aren't starting on the team at this point.
no.
So
But that was the thing. We kept 7 UDFA rookies on the team this year.
just this year alone, but we have some other UDFAs on the roster as well from years past.
Bo Richter and Ivan Pace
I
are
like
2
that. I like that because it brings that, to me, in my opinion, it brings that extra level of hunger from these guys that might not get looks from other teams.
Right.
Not that they're bad players.
No, it's the guys
But
that,
they got that chip on their shoulder then. They have that chip on their shoulder to prove something.
They didn't get drafted because of something showed up in their
and you
workouts.
Know what? That tells you a lot about your scouting department and how they go out and they really look at these gems or these guys that you find in the rough. So,
yeah. Now,
Tony, hello. I see you out there.
Brandon. Yeah. Bob, making a move now is re-signing Shaq. I think Shaq Griffin would be a good signing to bring back.
I think a corner is the next move. I'm not going to say it's going to be Shaq, but we need to bring somebody else in at corner and receiver. In my opinion, it's the 2 areas that concern me right now: receiver and corner.
Yeah, and
we got 10 days. We're 10 days away again. Once again,
Kwesi played it kind of coy today. During the press conference, they kind of I don't. We play a lot of big nickels, so we don't, kind of playing it off like we don't necessarily need to bring in another cornerback. Plus, they talked about the fact that they've got Moreau on the practice squad and Samaya Vaughn. Right. So maybe they don't. I don't,
And we haven't seen a lot of these. We haven't seen a lot of these starters take the field in preseason. So I mean,
no, some of the guys haven't played at all, and the rest of them only played, a
series or two.
Yeah, and that's it. So that's going to be that's a little bit concerning to me. Are they going to be rusty when it comes to kickoff? On Monday Night Football, you saw a lot of teams. A lot of teams were going away from playing their starters, and now this year they kind of went back in and they played them in that 3rd preseason game.
Well, I think it's throughout the league, it just depends, I guess. So there's a lot of, you got Mahomes out there playing all 3 weeks in the preseason, but then you turn around and you got these other guys not playing any starters too. So
yeah,
it just comes down to what you want to do as an organization and with what you want to do with your players. But the thing is though, is that regardless of whether or not they played in the preseason, they really took those joint practices and used them for that as well. So
and that's a big thing for these teams now too. So. Beyond that, they did announce the captains today. I'll list them off. List them off here and see if Rogers is a CB3.
We're about to find out, Lone Wolf.
Yeah, Flores
He
absolutely
talks a big game. Now let's see if he can back it up.
right. Flores
So,
absolutely beat the table for this
and I
guy.
believe, yes, I believe in Flores and his assessment of these, especially these defensive players. If you got
Mm-hmm.
Flores pounding the table, like literally pounding the table for Rodgers, he knows something or sees something in him that he believes in.
Right. And the
So,
Philadelphia fans were not happy that they didn't get him back. I mean, he was a spot player and a rotational guy there,
I
but
love the comment, Norse. Whoops. Yeah, I do too, Swede. But
yep,
Norse, this is what we're going on here. Yeah, Spielman never had the brain power that Kwesi has to make these moves.
no, thought he did, but he didn't. But anyway, back to the captains. Let me know if there's anybody who kind of surprises you
Right.
on here. Pretty straightforward, I think. But your team captains are quarterback J.J. McCarthy.
Love it. Love it. Love it right off the bat. Put that C on
Yep.
his chest.
Wide receiver Justin Jefferson.
Was he pounding the table, though? I mean, multiple sources have said that he was.
Yep, I've heard it from at least 3 or 4 guys that I trust.
And
to be in
out
the
of the
know.
horse's mouth as well.
Right.
Flores ranting and raving about how much he loves Rodgers.
Mhm.
So, I mean, continue. So, we got
McCarthy, Jefferson.
That's a give me, yes.
Yep. Harrison Smith. Aaron
Another one.
Jones.
Aaron Jones, yeah, okay, right on.
Andrew DePaula.
Of course, yeah.
Josh Metellus. Jonathan Grenard. And Brian O'Neill.
Oh, we got 7 captains this year, huh?
8.
8. Yeah, I like that. I'm surprised. If it wasn't for Thielen just coming in, I would have put the C on his chest too. I mean, he's ingrained in the organization, but like they're giving it to the players that have been here throughout the offseason.
Well, and guys that are
earn that C on their chest,
and guys that are starters, not guys that are back. Thielen will be a backup. He's not going to be. I mean, he'll start probably week 1.
He'll be moved to your third receiver once Addison returns.
Right.
But a damn good third receiver at that, I believe.
Yep.
I believe Thielen's got some juice left. He proved me wrong when he left for Carolina. Was able to put up 1,000 yards for one season there. And then last year in the 7 games that he played was able to put up a little over 600.
Mm-hmm.
And the dude's a huge red zone threat. Always has been. Yeah. And the thing is that about Adam Thielen has got a lot in common with Chris Carter is that he's able to still get that separation and he has amazing hands.
Yep.
He has got some of the best hands in the league. So,
yeah, and Thielen said that himself today. That he may not have the speed that he once had, but he can still get separation, and he's got.
That's the most important thing at receivers, being able to still get that separation.
Yep, and he said he's still got some tricks up his sleeve that he can to get out there and be successful. I mean, he was the guy that was holding that the wide receiver room together over in Carolina. So
yeah, he was carrying that receiver room and was instrumental in the development of Bryce Young.
Well, yeah, there was
his resurgence.
No coincidence that when Adam Thielen came back the second half of the season, that's when Bryce Young really took off last year.
Yes,
and that's only going to help for J.J. McCarthy.
I was wrong when I thought he didn't have anything left in the tank. I believe there's still some juice there, and with the reinvigoration of him coming back, and just having that inside in your soul, I mean, wanting to ball for this team again and wanting to do your best. I think we're going to be just fine plugging him in at 2 while Addison sits out for those 3 weeks.
Yeah. Well, and Thielen, he also mentioned that, he learned a few things when he was gone, that, he left chasing the money and whatever all else. And basically it amounts to, the grass isn't always greener on the other side. And he talks how he wished he'd never left and all that kind of stuff. Carolina's
full
not
circle there, Lone Wolf. Full circle, I believe.
Yep. Carolina's not screwed, and they've got some good young wide receivers over there. So,
And this is one of the rare occasions where I could stand on a hill for Thielen coming back. Not very often when we let somebody go and we believe that they're washed, that I would want them to come back. But Thielen's one of those rare cases where I still believe that there's something there in the tank, and I think he could come back here and cause some problems.
And especially with the situation that we're in, there really wasn't anybody else option wise to
his career in
come
general
back
has just been storybook. His career in general is made for a movie, is movie made, tailor made for a movie. So
and how fitting would it be if Harrison Smith sticks around for one more year, Adam Thielen comes back, and the Vikings go and finally hoist a Lombardi this year?
Truly a last dance type of feel, yes.
I'm not even sure though that this would be the end for Thielen. If he plays decently, I can easily see him.
Well, they were talking about restructuring his contract. I don't know, man. Maybe give him another year.
Yeah, because
and I think at this point he's willing to take that pay cut to come back and play again. So we'll see. We'll see. We got to wait and see what happens this season before we start talking about anything next year. So
yeah. Let's not extend people until we find out what's going on. But
right.
But yeah. Anyway, we've been going on here for an hour now. Talked about a lot of stuff tonight. Got anything else you want to hit before we call her tonight?
I think we hit on everything we needed to hit on as far as this week goes.
2 good years, Lone Wolf. I could see that.
I'd be happy if he could just put up $500, 500 yards this year and next year at wide receiver 3 with 4 or 5 touchdowns. Mm-hmm. I'm good with that version of Adam Thielen.
Yeah.
So, and the third down, Adam Thielen, the one of the best receivers on third down as well as when it comes to needing that convert on third down.
Third down and red zone.
McCarthy's going to be looking Thielen's way a lot on third down.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing that Thielen will be on the sticks.
Yep.
So,
but yeah, let's wrap her up here tonight since it's late and 5:30 comes awful freaking early in the morning. But I want to thank you guys all for joining tonight. We still got 50 people in the chat after an hour. Great night for everybody. 550.
Norris is all over me tonight. I think you're still.
Norris was in fine form
earlier.
I mean, we had Davey came in here with a lot of great stuff tonight. All you guys. Little side note: we do have a few prizes this year that we're going to give away. Our buddies over at the Vikings Report with Drew and Ted ever so graciously donated the remainder of their prize vault to us. Haven't figured out how we're going to give them away yet. I don't have a cat here to run the wheel of Toonces or anything like that, but we'll come up with something, and I got to go through the box and figure out what all we've got here, and I'll come up with a list. Maybe we'll start handing them out for great comments and stuff like that, and we'll kind of go from there. But
we'll figure something out innovatively.
We will figure something out. So again, shout out to Drew and Ruby for graciously donating those items to us for this year, and we will definitely make good use of them. Programming note, we will go to Friday night next week. It's not full-time switch there yet, but just due to some scheduling stuff next week. Friday night, we will have the preview for week 1. I'm hoping
Doc
the rosters.
We're missing Doc tonight. I
don't know what the hell happened to Doc, but
yeah.
We will
check on him after the show.
Yeah, we will preview the season opener against the Chicago Bears on Monday Night Football, and then will probably be a Thursday show again after the following week. But so make sure you stay tuned for all that. Follow our Facebook, follow YouTube, follow Twitter. Keep us up to date. Keep up to date with everything that we're doing there. And if you haven't done so, obviously hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit the follows, ring the bells, all of that good stuff. But again, big thank you to everybody for joining us tonight. And with that, why don't you take us home, Lance?
Yep. Love you guys. Thanks again for coming out tonight. Lots of interaction tonight there in the comment section as usual. Davey, I think you get the gold medal tonight for all the information you came with. Although all you guys are great. So,
yeah.
With that being said, I look forward to seeing you guys next Friday. One more show before the season starts. We'll We'll see y'all then next week, Friday, 9 p.m. Central. Skol.
Have a good weekend, everybody.